Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? What's going on? Welcome to Man Up Mondays live on Periscope. Yo, I like Periscope for real. I mean, I really like Periscope, so I'm going to be using this app more often. Thank you for the hearts there. I appreciate it. Keep them coming, guys. I check this out. So, hey, how you doing, Monica? And also, be sure to tell me where you're from too. I'd like to know where you guys are from, where you're broadcasting from. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Also, feel free to ask any questions. So, every Monday, Seattle's in the building. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. So, every Monday, I have what's called Man Up Mondays. What's up, big brother Daryl? My man D right there. So every Monday I have Man Up Mondays. And basically the purpose of Man Up Mondays is to encourage men to be all that they were created to be. And guys, these vlogs are open to both genders because I feel that there's a lot that we can learn from each other. So definitely feel free to log on every Monday. And I may just start using Periscope. If you want me to do Man Up Mondays on Periscope, somebody make some noise. What do you say? What do you think? Oakland, California, what's going on? Yo, I love it. I love it, guys. Appreciate you. So before I start, I just want to say that I miss my wife, y'all. I miss my baby. My wife has been gone for 2 weeks. With great purpose, though. I'm so proud of her. She has been on a missions trip to India, and right now she's in Nepal. So she's been in India for about a week, and she's in Nepal now. And God has been doing some amazing things in India that will blow your mind. I'm just so grateful for all that's taking place over there. The children that she's connected with, the team that she has. And if there are any of you that keep up with my wife, Jennifer Lucy Tyler, on Facebook, you'll see a lot of great pictures. You'll see a lot of wonderful stories about what has transpired. One thing that we are both passionate about is living missionally. And basically what that means to us is not just living for ourselves. We believe in exposure. We believe in taking the gospel of Jesus Christ beyond our block and beyond what we're used to, where we grew up, where we live, because that's what the Great Commission is all about. It's not about just thinking about you. Found people find people. I like to say that people who are found, who've been found by Christ, find lost people. They find other people. So, and one thing is that we're all in desperate need of the gospel. Seriously. So my wife left on the 28th of July, and she's going to be back this Thursday. Yeah, your boy is boosted. So she's going to be back yes, Jennifer Lucy Tyler is thebomb.com. Thank you very much. So she's going to be back this Thursday, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her. I just want to hug her and just love on her. So I had to share that spill about my wife. I'm just grateful for her. I'm a man who's not ashamed to express my love for my wife privately and publicly. Seriously. So guys, I mean, man, I was thinking about and just praying about, what to talk about. And I just really want to just have a real transparent conversation with you guys, and just feel free. I just want to hear from you as well. One thing is that the voice you believe determines the future that you will experience. Every day, 50 to 60,000 thoughts go through our minds. Every day. And a lot of those thoughts are negative. So my question is, what are you thinking? Why is it important to have healthy thoughts? Why is it important to have the right thoughts and know who you are and what you were created to be? And I feel like we have a generation of men who are fighting for significance right now. You have a generation of men who did not have their father growing up. So because they did not have their dad in their lives growing up, they struggle with a sense of identity. You have a lot of guys who come from different backgrounds. Some did grow up with their fathers. Others, the streets may have raised them. And they got their identity from not only from the streets, they got it from their friends or even other family members. And so it's important, I think, for us to really know who we are and what we were created to be. You know, there's this line by Jay-Z. I don't know what song it is. Don't ask me the song, but it says, I'm standing in the mirror. I'm stuck in the moment. I'm looking at my only opponent. If anybody knows what song that line is in, let me know. But I just don't know. But that line really stood out to me. And the reason that it did is because we are our own worst enemies. The biggest enemy is not the enemy without, but it's the enemy in a me. I often say on social media that we have to stop feeling like we need to compete with each other so much, and feel like we have to compete to, be what somebody else is, be better than the next man. Because at the end of the day, you are your greatest competition. At the end of the day, it's all about becoming a better you than you were yesterday. So every day, what are you doing to work toward that? Because at the end of the day, every man needs to know his mission. Every man needs to know what his purpose is. He needs to know, what he was created for. And guys, let me tell you something. Do not be ashamed or upset or be embarrassed if you do not yet know what that specific thing is that you were created to do. Because there's always a way to find that out. And you find that out by tapping into spending time with your creator. That's right. We were all born with purpose. We were all born. None of us was born by mistake. So on this Man Up Monday, I just want to encourage us to hear the right voices. Early this year, I lost my job. As some of you already know, I have shared it in some of my blogs. I lost my job. And just think, of all the voices I could have been hearing at that time, you're supposed to be the man. And that can happen to anybody. We have a lot of people who have lost their jobs, and things have happened in the economy that you have or in their jobs that you have no control over. But it's all about what you do with that opportunity. When I see crisis, I also see an opportunity. So all kinds of voices were telling me, okay, what are you going to do next? How can you not know? You have a wife, you have a home. What are you supposed to do? How can you have this time on your hands and, you're not, and income's not coming in? All of these different things can start trying to communicate things to your head. And you have to know, what is God saying during this time? What is the purpose for this? And so I'm definitely happy to say I'm about to start working again. I'm grateful for that. But in the meantime, all of our needs have been taken care of. We've been provided for. God has opened some amazing doors that my wife and I have been grateful for. And this has really been a time to reflect. This has been a time for me to really study and prepare for what's ahead. This has been a time for me to start learning how to reprogram my thinking and listen to the right voices. So check this out. I don't know if any of you guys remember those old commercials where you had the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder. And basically one voice is telling you some really negative things and things that you shouldn't be hearing. And the other voice, which is the angel, is telling you, well, don't steal the money. The devil's saying, no, finders, keepers, losers, weepers, commercials like that. So a lot of times I wish with the voices that I hear, I could just flip the devil right off my shoulder and fist bump the angel. But that's not how life works. That is not how life works. You can't. Hey, what's going on, Chris, folks? How you doing? Thanks for logging in to Man Up Monday. So you can't just fist bump the angel and flick the devil off your shoulder, but you have to know how to hear the right voice. I believe that the most important habit any of us can form is learning how to place God's voice above all the other voices. Because there are always voices fighting for your attention. Let me give you an example to prove what I'm saying. So I'm in Exodus chapter 3, right? There's this man named Moses, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but there's this man named Moses. We know he led the people of God out of bondage, out of Egypt. He's noted in history for leading thousands. But this is a man, this great leader also carried a lot of insecurities. He was a man who had a lot of insecurities about who he was, about how he could speak, and he doubted God, which like a lot of us men do. Guys, a lot of times society does not make it easy for you to be the man that you were created to be. You know, you can have great purpose. You can have greatness living on the inside of you, but your insecurities can be so big. And it's crazy. A lot of times we see all these great men who are celebrities, who are running businesses, who are speakers, and we see what's on the outward. We say, man, they're gifted. Man, they got it going on. But what we don't see is the insecurities that they wrestle with privately. So basically, what's happened is Moses, he's raised in the house of Pharaoh. You know, oh, wow, your passage is taught on this Sunday? Wow, that's amazing. So he's raised in the house of Pharaoh, you know, becoming an Egyptian prince. He's raised in the house of Pharaoh, ends up seeing an Egyptian really doing harm and harming, beating a Hebrew slave. So he goes and kills the Egyptian, hides his body, and ends up fleeing from Egypt. So Moses' life can be divided up like this. He spent 40 years learning how to be somebody in Egypt. He spent another 40 years being a nobody. He flees, goes in the wilderness. He ends up with meeting Jethro. Then he spends another 40 years learning how to be somebody. And that's the somebody that God made him to be. So it was 40, 40, 40. But check this out. So now he's at the burning bush. He sees this burning bush. And Exodus chapter 3, verse 9, he's having a conversation with God. God says, look, the cry of the people of Israel has reached me, and I have seen how harshly the Egyptians abuse them. Now go, for I am sending you to Pharaoh. You must lead my people Israel out of Egypt. This is Exodus chapter 3, verse 9. I'm at verse 10 now, and this is in the New Living Translation. He says, but Moses protested to God, who am I to appear before Pharaoh? Who am I to lead the people of Israel out of Egypt? So you have two people talking. You have God and you have Moses. Now, I believe that there's a third person there that we don't see. That third person represents the voices of doubt that are speaking out of Moses' mouth. God is telling you, he gives you a mission. And this is what we do. God tells you, go start the business. You're going to have a major business helping a lot of people. You're going to do great things. What's the first thing we do? But God, how can I do that? Who am I? Check this out. I heard this in Transformers from Optimus Prime. Destiny rarely calls upon us at a moment of our choosing. Guys, a lot of times you will be called to do some amazing things. He will call you to do some amazing things when you think you're the least fit to do it. But check this out. With God, your inadequacies are your qualifications. A lot of times we need to stop looking at ourselves so much. And the problem with when I lost my job, I started looking at myself. I'm the man. I'm supposed to be the visionary. Fellas, you were not created to be your own source. You weren't created to be your own source. Your manhood is not about how much money's in your pockets. Your manhood is not about what kind of car you drive. Your manhood is not based on the kind of job you have. I'm not saying that those things aren't great. They're wonderful. But what happens when those things get stripped away from you completely? What then? What happens when those things completely get stripped away from you? And so, we talk about women and their insecurities with their beauty, with their looks. Guys, we got some insecurities of our own that we need to just start looking at, being honest about, and saying, you know what? Man, who am I really? Who have I been listening to? And this is why it's important for guys to have the right kind of community around them. Men need other men. Women, I don't know how many wives are out there. And as I'm talking also, I want you guys to feel free to ask any questions you may have as well, or share any comments you have. But women, you're married. Do not hold your guys back from hanging out with other men. Men that have a level head, basically. Do not keep them from other healthy relationships with men. Don't keep them in the house. Don't hold them back. Because when you have other men who can sharpen them and help them to become stronger men, they'll become better husbands too for you. Allow them to get around other strong men. Men need community. We need other guys who can speak into our lives. There will never come a day where we will not need to be fathered. And guys, check this out. The men in your life that are to father you, they don't have to be the men that birth you. They just have to be the men that love you. They don't have to be the men that birth you. They just have to be the men that love you. So we have this voice here. So Moses is already doubting God. Now, I'm going to skip to Exodus chapter 4. God has told Moses what he's going to do. He's going to perform some miracles. He's going to do some amazing things. It says here, but Moses protested again. What if they won't believe me or listen to me? What if they say the Lord never appeared to you? Again, he's questioning God. Guys, look, voices of doubt and insecurity basically tell you that what you did or what you messed up on is who you are. It's not who you are. What you messed up on is not who you are. Your mistakes are not who you are. And sometimes we have trouble separating our mistakes and bad choices from our character. We basically put the two together. Guilt and shame will keep you from being who you were created to be. Guilt and shame will hold you back. It doesn't matter how your past looks or what your past looks like. You can be made new. You can have a whole new you can have a whole new future ahead of you if you just embrace it and listen to the right voices. That's what it's all about. So what I started doing is those voices that were telling me that I was inadequate because I was unemployed, that I was inadequate because I didn't necessarily know the next step at that time. I started replacing those voices. And I'm thankful to have the kind of wife that I do that's encouraging me. She's always pushing me to become better than what I am. And I don't know if she's logged on right now, but Jennifer Lucy Tyler, I love you. Thank you for always seeing me, seeing who I am on the inside and seeing the greatness in me and trying to push it out of me. Ladies, the greatest thing you can do is help an ordinary man, which you see as ordinary, help him become extraordinary. Sharpen him. And all day, if we're on a job, we hear voices that can be yelling at us, voices that can be telling us what we need to do. We can hear voices in the world telling us what we're not. But what's important is that we're able to receive encouragement from you guys. We're able to hear the right voice in you telling us who we are, not just what we did. And the thing about men need to be affirmed when they're doing right and even when they're not doing good. We need to be affirmed both times. And we also have to be able to give the love that we desire to receive. So I said it earlier, but the very thing that you feel disqualifies you really qualifies you because it's not about you. So I want to encourage the men today, definitely, to think about the things that have been said today. Think about what voices you've been listening to. You don't have enough money. You're not qualified. You don't have what it takes. Look at that other dude. What you doing? What you doing with your life? And ladies, for you, you're not pretty enough. You ugly. Identity issues. Listening to the wrong voices can lead to an identity crisis. Listening to the wrong voices, it can lead to an identity crisis. You become confused because when you don't know who you are, you don't know your identity, anybody can identify you. And you need to know who you are. So I'm going to see my wife in a few days. Looking forward to that, guys. I mean, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really enjoyed hearing you guys. Chris, God bless you, man. It was good seeing you here. I don't know who Mama J is that just commented, but I appreciate you guys definitely. And for everybody else that's tuned in, just remember that God didn't create any man for a life of disappointment and struggle. He created you to dominate and be a reflection of himself in the earth. If our God never loses, why should you? And the sad thing, hearing the wrong voices, watching the wrong things, it can lead to some addictive habits too. And especially for guys, when we feel like we don't have an out, when we feel like we don't have a way out of our problems, we'll aggressively start looking to different things to fill the void that's on the inside of us. It could be sex, it could be pornography, it could be just drinking, it could be alcohol. So I feel like if you know somebody right now, if you have a friend or a family member that's battling with any of the areas I just mentioned, then I definitely want to keep them uplifting in prayer. Don't lose hope for them. Do not lose hope, whatever you do, no matter how it looks. Do not lose hope ever. You guys have a wonderful night. Also log on to JeffTylerSpeaks.com. That's JeffTylerSpeaks.com. My wife's website is JenniferLucyInspires.com. Definitely send us a message. Let us know how you're doing, and we love to talk with you, connect with you as well. Appreciate you, big brother Daryl. That's my man, Faith Fighter. Y'all make sure you follow at Faith Fighter. Awesome, awesome man. And I mean, he's a bodybuilder. Just cut up. I'm trying to get like him for real. Okay. See, y'all check this out. I told somebody the other day that my muscles, they were like God. You couldn't see them, but they're there. But they're becoming more visible. I'm working on some things, you know what I'm saying? But appreciate you guys. Have a good night.